I mean, that's pretty good. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the all-new Chevy Bolt EUV. First and foremost, though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Large Miller Chevy here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with this Bolt. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. Something that's awesome about the Large Miller Chevy in Murray is they do not charge over MSRP for any of the new Chevy products. So if you want to get a great deal on a new Chevy, definitely reach out to them. If you have any questions whatsoever or need any help, just ask to work with Nick and Gage. They'll be more than happy to help you out. And on a side note, if you want to save time, money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So the Bolt EUV is fully electric with a 65 kilowatt hour battery pack, 247 miles of driving range, and power outputs being 200 horsepower and then 266 pound-feet of torque. And it actually gives us a 0 to 60 time of just 6.7 seconds. Now let's go to the front end of the Bolt EUV. So first off, you guys can see not a lot happening there on the hood, but down below we've got this really cool daytime running light, and this does have a split light design, so you can see that the daytime running light is actually separate from the headlight itself. And they got the Chevy bow tie there on the front end with a front camera. Notice the whole front end is closed off, and I love the design there in the center. And other than that, there's the front. Coming around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 215, 50, 17 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see the design. You got the silver there on the top with the black below that, and the wheels kind of flow. And guess what? This doesn't have the stupid, weird looking, range EV wheels that a lot of EVs will have. Notice the molding there for the fender flare, and then that kind of continues along the side, because again, this is supposed to be kind of like the SUV version of the Bolt, hence EUV, electric utility vehicle. Anyways, chrome trim right there. Notice the mirrors are two-tone, and they actually have a pretty interesting design. We'll kind of zoom in in a second, but look at the side view. But yeah, look at this. It's kind of funky with that. And then we got to pop to the other side so I can show you guys the charging port here. So just click this, and it does have DC fast charging as well. Sorry, you guys can't see it very well. There you go. DC fast charging. Just pull down that tab. That's all. So here's our key fob. We got the Chevy bow tie there on the back. We have our unlock function, our lock function, and then remote start, and pretty normal Chevy key fob. Now we've got this little button right here to open up the hatch. It is hydraulic, which is fine because this isn't huge. Anyways, got the cargo cover already built in, which is pretty cool. And if we pull this up, you can see the storage space underneath, and we got like the charging cable and everything stacked inside. And why is this not folding? I guess I'll have to fiddle with this for a second to fold it back in, because I guess I pulled it too far forward. But decent storage space. So we got this nice handle that we can grab to kind of throw that all down. And let's finish things up with the rear. I think this is the best looking part on the Bolt, basically, because, well, first off, that's weird that I unlock it and the lights are down there, but then the lights are also up here. So we have like two sets of lights. My guess is there's some sort of federal mandate, because it looks like a large portion of the light is on a moving piece, which, yeah. Anyways, blacked out Chevy bow tie, Bolt EUV logo, and then parking sensors there at the bottom. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of the looks. So here's the door panel in the rear. You guys can see the blue padding down below and then the contrasted white stitching. We do have heated seats here for the rear, which is definitely nice. And then here are the seats themselves. Notice perforated in the center portion. And then let's actually pop in. There's your legroom. Yeah, no, I'm a mess today. No pocket here though, but we do have a pocket there for the passenger side. Got some USBs down below, and of course have our cup holder armrest, which is very important. I love that the seats are blue. I think that the next time I buy a car, I need to have a blue interior. Just a thought. Let's head to the front. Now here's the front door panel. You guys can see again with all of the padding and the stitching that goes throughout. And then we'll look at the handle, door lock and unlock. And then here's a quick look at the mirrors. And then notice that only the front window is automatic. You got your mirror adjustments. And then here's the front seat. Notice the design there in the center portion. And then you guys can see all the little perforations down below. Power adjustments. And also I like this little piping piece. And then here's the pedal layout. And then you got the hood latch release. And then you got light controls right there, and let's pop in. So here's the steering wheel with the Bolt EUV. You guys can see this does come with Super Cruise. We'll talk about that during the driving portion. And then we do have radio controls there on the back. This is our little regen button. It's the paddle shifter. And then you can see with all the cruise control, lane keep assist stuff. And by the way, to get into Super Cruise, you basically have to turn on the regular cruise control and then you can activate the system. Anyways, we have our turn signal / light stock, and then we have our windshield wiper stock, and there's the steering wheel. So here's the center gauge cluster. You can see full digital gauge cluster here, and this is how much range we have right now. So I get minimum 48. I wonder what that means. But anyways, we can actually scroll through some different menus. Notice that we are in demo mode, and that will come into play a little bit later. But yeah, it's pretty cool that you can see different bits of vehicle information, pretty normal stuff. And so there's nothing too fancy with this setup, and there you go. So here's our center infotainment screen. First off, if we pop it into reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. And this has Chevy's cool 360 camera system, so you have viewpoints out of pretty much every single angle, which I don't think is necessary on this because it's such a small little vehicle, but yeah, it's good. Anyways, touchscreen response time is great. It has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and since this is an EV, we can go to the energy page and it lets us know everything that is happening, which is pretty cool. So then you can see like how good or bad you're being. And I like how they always show you the climate settings. They're like, hey, if you don't use climate controls, then you'll get more range basically. But there you go. We've got really nice padding here on the dash with the stitching, and then I love the vent design here, how it kind of connects all across. It's kind of interesting, but then it just abruptly stops, I suppose. And then down below you can see with our climate control section, so we actually do have heated and cooled seats here for the front, and then a single zone climate. And then down below here we've got like our charging area with the wireless phone charging pad, stability control, that's your lane departure, and then this is our little sport button, so we can press that to turn sport mode on or off. And then we have our transmission selector, which is a bunch of little buttons basically, and then this is your one pedal drive. Whenever I drive an EV, I always keep it on because it just feels right with EVs. Parking brake, couple cup holders, and then we've got the center console here, which, you know, has a pretty decent amount of storage space. And then our glove box, also pretty normal. Again, I love the blue inside it. It definitely, you know, makes things feel a little bit cooler. But just lighter colored headliner, and then this one does have the camera mirror as well. So here's our window sticker for the Bolt EUV. You guys can see we have a 3-year 36,000 mile bumper to bumper warranty, 8-year 100,000 mile on the electrical system, and then you can see stuff like 7.5 hours to charge if you use a 240 volt, and then your range, and then all of the other stuff that is standard here with the Bolt. And then we have the optional equipment, Super Cruise, $2,200, and then you do have to pay after the 3-year initial subscription. Total MSRP $40,695. Let's take this out, talk about Super Cruise, talk about the Bolt EUV, and yeah, let's go. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, both of the mirrors, and then throughout the rest of the rear, and let's set off. So setting off in the Bolt EUV, first off, we're gonna press the paddle, and it does even more aggressive with the regen compared to like what you normally get with the one pedal drive, because this is letting off one pedal drive. You know what's kind of aggressive with letting off? Then I'm gonna speed up a little bit and then do the paddle, and it's like pressing the brake pretty much. So I guess if you don't want to press the brake, you could literally drive this like with your hand in a sense. I mean, you do have to still press the accelerator pedal. Ride quality is pretty smooth, but this road isn't really a good tell of ride quality because they just redid it, and so it's like, I mean, you could drive a clunker down this road at this point and it would probably feel smooth. But I do think that, you know, Chevy's done a good job with the Bolt EUV suspension, so I'm not going to press the brake at all. So I'm just going to do all regen. I mean, that's aggressive enough that I really can one pedal drive. I hate it when EVs have like a, you know, pseudo one pedal drive where you can only kind of get a one pedal drive experience where you still kind of have to press the brake. But other stuff with this, seat comfort's pretty good. The seats are a little bit on the harder side of things, but they're not like uncomfortable. I do like the AC seat function. That's always nice. It's crazy how many features this has, again, considering the price point, because a lot of other EVs, they won't even have, like, it's so weird. It's like an EV automaker thing to not put air conditioned seats in their vehicles, which is crazy to me. Like, you can get into a, you know, $100,000 plus Tesla, no air conditioned seats. It's weird. But yeah, you just get a lot of features. Again, the camera mirror, all that kind of stuff. So I think they've done a pretty good job with the packaging with this overall, and I think we're going to be lucky that we're going to be able to make it through without the light going. Gonna pop into the sport mode. Woo! that's still no brakes. I mean, that's pretty good with the acceleration. Now this is lower in charge, and so I don't think this is going to give me all of the power. Yeah, it looks like it's slightly limiting me with the power because we don't have a full charge with it. But I mean, it's still pretty dang quick. Let's take it out of the sport mode. So I want to talk about Super Cruise. So I made another video on the Bolt EUV, and I tried to use Super Cruise and it didn't work, and some people said I didn't use the system properly. What I found out is because the Bolt wasn't registered yet, Super Cruise wasn't registered, because again, it's something that you have for the first 3 years, and then you have to continue to pay a subscription for it to work. So basically, Chevy doesn't give you Super Cruise until you have like purchased the vehicle and registered it. So it comes with this vehicle after it's registered. So there's no way for me to test Super Cruise on this. So yeah, kind of an interesting thing, and that's the subscription world that we live in. So I guess if Chevy ever sends me out this, or you know, another vehicle with a similar Super Cruise system, then I'll be able to show you guys. I did test it in an Escalade, so if you guys just look up Ben Hardy 2022 Cadillac Escalade, I believe, then you'll be able to see me test out the Super Cruise in that. But other than that, I think the Bolt EUV is a great little affordable EV, and I said this in the first review and I'll say it again. I think that Chevy's basically done what Tesla was not able to do, and that is build an affordable EV with a lot of features. Like, this is a good value. The only thing that Chevy should, you know, add, I think, to this at this point is a dual motor setup, so this is so they can make it all-wheel drive. But other than that, pretty solid.